This recording about reasonable adjustments is part of a series of videos to support young people with additional needs to prepare for adult life. The recruitment process for work and work placements can raise many barriers for young adults with special educational needs and disabilities, or SEND, including online applications and formal interviews. Many young adults with SEND are also disabled. Under the Equality Act of 2010, employers must make reasonable adjustments to make sure that disabled people are not substantially disadvantaged due to their disability. This includes adjustments to the recruitment process. If there is an online application process, a reasonable adjustment might be to allow a disabled person to send in a paper application, or their curriculum vitae, known as a CV, or a recorded CV, or a video or audio application. If a person needs support to fill in an application form, there is usually a place to declare that support has been given. A formal interview can be daunting for anyone, especially young people and adults with disabilities. So what kind of reasonable adjustments could a disabled person ask for? A disabled person could ask the employer to waive the interview, that means not require it, and instead have a short practical assessment in the workplace, giving the disabled person the chance to show they can do the job. And they could bring along a supporter. Or the employer could offer a work trial of between 1 to 8 weeks. This is sometimes called a working interview. If there must be an interview, a disabled person could ask if they could bring a job coach or supporter to the interview with them. We will explain what a job coach is and how to get one later in this video. Or they could ask to be told what to expect in advance, like how many people the disabled person will meet, how many questions they will be asked, the types of questions they will be asked, and how long the interview is likely to last. Other reasonable interview adjustments could include more time for the interview and/or rest breaks, for the interviewer to avoid direct eye contact, for the interviewer to use plain English and avoid questions which ask them to imagine a situation, or adjustments to light or sound, having a sign language interpreter or bringing an assistance dog, or information printed out on a particular colour. Or reasonable adjustments could include changes to the time of the interview, for example for someone who finds rush hour travel difficult, or if they need to take medication and eat at certain times. Or support with completing any tests or tasks, for example extra time to prepare and to do the task, a larger screen or screen background set to a particular colour, someone to read for them, or they could ask for particular software or an app to help. Do not be worried about asking for adjustments. It is your right as a disabled person. Remember, an employer chooses people for interview for a reason, and they want you to be as confident and comfortable as possible so that you can show them what you can do. Once a disabled person is in a job, the employer still has a duty to make reasonable adjustments. A job coach can be very helpful during the recruitment process and at the start of a job. A job coach can help people with disabilities learn and do their work duties. This includes things like breaking down tasks into small chunks or repeating instructions. A job coach may work one-on-one and/or in a small group. They can help a disabled person with learning the skills for a job and also with managing social interaction at work. A job coach could be paid for through an Access to Work grant if a disabled person is either about to start a job or has a job interview, is doing an apprenticeship, or is in a paid job or self-employed. And we have a separate video explaining this grant. If a young person with an Education, Health and Care or EHC plan is on a supported internship, they should be supported in the work placement by a job coach organised by the education provider. And we have a separate video explaining supported internships. Reasonable adjustments can vary depending on a disabled person's specific needs, but could include providing equipment to help a person with their work, giving them more time to do their work, arranging tasks in a different way, or making physical changes to the workplace, for example, installing a ramp for wheelchair access. To find out more about assistive technology to support disabled people at work, you might like to visit the SCOPE website. SCOPE is a disability equality charity offering practical information, resources and support for disabled people. There's no set way for a disabled person's needs to be assessed. However, they can ask for an initial assessment with their employer before starting work or a work placement. This will help evaluate any learning difficulties or disabilities they have that might impact on work tasks and explore the support and adjustments they will need. A disabled person doesn't have to tell their employer that they have a learning difficulty or disability, but they may not get the support they're entitled to if they don't. Being open and honest about the support they need could help them and the people they work with. The employer and training provider might ask for any relevant medical details. Other organisations which can help include the Equality and Human Rights Commission, which can offer lots of examples of reasonable adjustments in practice, Action on Disability, which includes an employment service supporting disabled people with all aspects of employment. MENCAP offers support for people with a learning disability to find work, and the National Deaf Children's Society can support young people with a hearing impairment to transition to employment. And we have other short videos which may help your young person to prepare for employment and for adult life. This video was made by Suffolk Sendias, but every county will have an impartial and confidential SEND information, advice and support service.